Hello boys and girls, children of all ages, and welcome to Season 5 of the 2002 GPRO Championship in Formula 1. Today, we have a very special treat for you as we return to the illustrious Monaco Grand Prix for the first time ever in this GPRO Championship. We are currently in qualifying for the first time in Monaco. Currently Alex Young on pole for 1:29.7. Button in second. And Courtfire's just jumped into second. Montoya is now on pole position. We'll talk about driver changes over the course of time. I think there's only been two driver changes in the form of Takagi's back at Minardi. He has replaced Takuma Sato. And there was a change in BAR as well, with Bertie replacing the experienced Olivier Panis. However, we got other matters of hand, as Montoya is currently on pole position, Fisichella second, Schumacher third, Alesi fourth, Hill jumps up into fifth, Mazzacane sixth, Alonso seventh, Young eighth, Button ninth, Dennis 10th, Courtfire's in 11th, Ralph Schumacher 12th, Heinz Frentzen 13th. Track temperature has gone up 9 degrees since the start of the session, the 65-minute session for qualifying, as we wait for the rest of the drivers to finish all their laps. Got the final few cars finishing their laps. Frenz has lost his front wing somewhere along the way. I don't think he even left the track. Hakkinen lost the wheel. He's not going to complete his laps. Not much change with Bertie has just jumped into, is it Bertie? I don't know. Mark Webber's just jumped into fourth place with a fantastic lap. Bertie improved as well. He's gone up into fourth.
There's only 3 minutes to go.
And there's not going to be any more improvement. Oh, Webber has just gone out, but I don't think he's going to finish that lap. Or he's just finished that lap. So it is Montoya on pole position, Schumacher second, Fisichella third, Bertie fourth, Webber fifth, Alesi sixth, Button seventh, Alonso is in eighth, Hill ninth, Mazzacane 10th, Young 11th, Dennis 12th, Courtfire 13th, Ralph Schumacher 14th, Frentzen 15th, De La Rosa 16th, Kimi Räikkönen 17th, Takagi 18th, Rubens Barrichello 19th, and Mika Hakkinen is at the rear of the field like he was most of last season. But he was only 1.3 seconds away from the pole position time as we look at the illustrious Monaco Grand Prix, the only street circuit that we visit in the GPRO Championship. Australia and Montreal are sort of close, but we look around the track. We'll talk about more of the track as the cars go around, but we are all on the starters' orders here for the race, and we are racing here! Montoya has a fantastic start. He's managed to get up into first still. As they go round the first corner, Fisichella is very close to the wall. He has hit the wall, but he has survived. As we look down the rest of the field, there's Alonso takes top line there. Hill, Young, Courtfire, Diniz. Frenzen's got the inside, very much of an inside line. All the cars have managed to get through the first corner of Saint-Devat, up the hill towards Casino, and then down towards the two tightest corners of the circuit. Michael Schumacher looks down the inside of Montoya, and there's no way he's going to overtake there. To go to the tightest corner of the F1 calendar, Lowe's hairpin, tentatively around the corner, and then the double right-hander of Portier as we go towards the tunnel round Portier. And there's Alonso, Hill, Young, Coulthard, Diniz, Frentzen, Schumacher, Räikkönen, De La Rosa, Takagi, Hakkinen, and Barrichello. There are your racers. As Montoya is already at the swimming pool chicane. Very tight left right-hander. Down towards Rascast for the first time. Double right, apex. And then the final corner, Anthony Nobes. Very difficult corner. You cannot see the apex as you brake. And that is a lap of the Monaco Grand Prix. Montoya leads by 7/10, heavy braking towards the first corner. And up the hill for the second time. Not going to be many overtakes for sure, but we should see quite a lot of action with drivers trying to avoid the walls. It's going to be interesting to see if the front runners can get enough of a gap to not be held up by any of the drivers going for the one stop. There's going to be a mix of one stops and two stops around this track. It's going to be very intriguing which strategy is the best as they go through the double right of Portier towards the tunnel. The fastest part of the circuit, little lift, round up right hander and then towards the chicane or to back. Not even to back to the next corner. It's a very tight chicane though. This is the back corner. It's a really quick corner. Taking quite a lot of speed compared to the rest of the track. The swimming pool chicane, high curbs you want to avoid. Second part of the swimming pool chicane is a very tight right left. You don't want to get in that wrong, otherwise you'll end up in the barrier and towards the left. And then very tight corner here at Rascas. The double right hand apex. The pit is towards the right of you. Anthony knows again a very blind right corner. Montoya still leads. Michael Schumacher is in second. Fisichella third. Bertie in the BAR is in fourth. Schumacher didn't do that corner quite nicely. We're on board with Fisichella, currently in the Renault. Bertie in the BAR, making his debut in the BAR after being thrown out of the Jaguar team by their manager in place of Pedro Diniz. Onto the double Pedro name in the Jaguar. We're on board with, this is a lazy we're on board with, round lows, taking a very deep inside line. And they're on board with the Jordan, they are in 7th at the moment, BAR in 8th. 9th is Alonso in the Toyota. The 8th place man was Max Akane. He finished 4th in the championship last season. Jordan of Hill 10th. Young in 11th in the Minardi. 12th place is currently David Coulthard as they negotiate the chicane round to back. Diniz is in 13th at the moment. Frenson 7 seconds behind the Jaguar. There is Frenson. Schumacher directly behind him. Not sure if Frenson's made a mistake and held the rest of the field up, but currently really slow at the moment is Frenson. And that is Raikkonen has gone for a spin. Raikkonen has just span at the second part of the chicane. Not sure what happened there, but he's held quite a few of the cars up. Here we go. Round the first part of the chicane, second part coming up. It is going to take too much of the corner there. Yes, he is. It took too much of the corner there. I think that might have happened to Frenson, seeing he was 7 seconds behind, but he's held up quite a few of the cars. He's down in last place now, which is not going to best please the Sauber team, as they're all following each other rather slowly at Rascas. Rascas. But down the main straight now, this start lap 4. Still an awful long way to go in this race. Montoya is already near the tunnel. He's got a comfortable lead at the moment. And to go towards the chicane at the bottom of the track. If you have one of the yachts there, you've got a very good view of the crowd. So do the crowds that are in that grandstand. Grandstand to the left of you, to go through one of the quickest parts of the circuit. And through the chicane, there's another grandstander there. And then come up to the final couple of corners. The double apex. If you have one of the buildings that are in the vicinity of this racetrack, you have the perfect view of the circuit. The pit lane is rather intriguing as Michael Schumacher takes the fast lap of the race. Pit lane is rather intriguing as it's in the inside of the circuit. The pit boxes aren't. The pit boards are actually different in this circuit. They're still on the pit straight, but where they do the communications are at the back. They're not actually in the pit lane because of how narrow the pit lane is. As we're on board with Michael Schumacher, as he's putting pressure on the Colombian, the Season 3 champion of Juan Pablo Montoya. They had a very, very dire Season 4. Could not get going at all as Fisichella brings up some sparks by hitting the barrier at Portier. As we go through this tunnel, a little lift up into gear 7 to the quickest part of the circuit, round the chicane. I think it's the Nouvelle chicane actually. I just remembered the name of the circuit. Up towards the swimming pool chicane. 5th time here. Fisichella still putting pressure on Schumacher and Montoya. Bertie's losing track a little bit. He's only 1 second behind though. They have to catch up a little bit on this corner because these are just following each other, going quite slowly. And then the final corner. And then they get a bit of a break of turning. But the straight is not really a straight. It's probably the least straight around. As Fisichella hits both walls. Survived the corner though. And that is rather interesting. There we are. Weber! A rather interesting track there. They weren't even going on a track. Weber through the casino. Down towards the hairpin. And through the round the Lowe's hairpin. 29 kilometers an hour. The one board with Jensen Button, your Season 4 champion. Round Portier. And we are already going to start seeing the pit stops as Montoya is ready to go into the pits. Hill has made a mistake somewhere. We're on board with Hill now. Young goes down the inside. It's a fantastic move. Hill's going to try and continue. And oh, hello! Both Young and Hill have collided and both got upside down. But Young managed to go back on his wheels and actually survived. Hill couldn't survive. That was a very interesting accident there. What's going to happen? So they both take two. So Young squeezes Hill out. David Coulthard's looking to continue. That was a rather spectacular accident between the two of them. Young's barely survived. We're going back on board with Young. It was a very good overtake round Lowe's. He squeezes Hill out too much, and we're on the ride there with Young. So Young survives, Hill doesn't survive. What a rather interesting accident. And rather unfortunate for Damon Hill. Damon Hill, the first retirement of Season 5 after that accident. But we're now back on board with Montoya as he goes into the pit lane.
Montoya, the race leader, is entering the pit now.
And into his pit box to change for the 4 tyres. Everyone is going past 7th, 8th. And away he goes. 8.7 seconds is the stop. Alonso going past now. So, and Young is coming up to him. He would have been behind Young if it wasn't for the fact that Young had that accident. But so the Montoya strategy has sort of worked up to the point where the leaders are going longer than him. Coulthard is in 11th place. He's putting pressure on Alex Young. The 5-second gap behind to Diniz in 12th. There's an even bigger gap to Frentzen in 13th. Ralf Schumacher in 14th. They're going up by Rivage at the moment towards Massenet to Kagi is directly behind these two, Frentzen and Schumacher, the two Germans. The only other German on the grid is Michael Schumacher. Round Mirabeau towards Lowe's. It's a very tight corner. Turn 6. Round Portier. There is Takagi. Hakkinen is directly behind as well. Into the tunnel for the 7th time. Hakkinen 16th in the McLaren. Back into the daylight. Schumacher, Fisichella, Bertie and Webber are lazy. There is your top 5. A lazy with the fastest lap, and there has been a huge accident. Takagi and Ralf Schumacher. Takagi and Ralf Schumacher both out the race. What has happened? We only saw the end of that. So Ralf Schumacher goes into the inside of Frentzen, and he's going to get caught up in the chicane. And there is the scene of the accident, and Ralf Schumacher and both Ralf Schumacher and Takagi out at Nouvelle. Rather dramatic accident that was. Ralf Schumacher nearly went over. So we are down to 17 runners as they go up the invisible hill. Montoya is down into 10th place. He's been overtaken by Alex Young. Alex Young actually did another overtake. Young, the only person doing overtakes at the moment. Frentzen's in 13th. Hakkinen's in 14th. De La Rosa 15th. Barrichello 16th. Raikkonen 17th. Round Lowe's goes Alonso. Run up 8 out of 26. There's too many laps for me to get. 18 laps left. Button is in 6th. Mazzacane 7th. A lazy 5th in the Renault. Webber 4th, 33rd. Fisichella 2nd. Michael Schumacher leads at the moment. Braking heavily for Raskas towards Anthony Notes. The chicane a little bit. Round turn 19, and this is the long pit straight. I say the long pit straight, it's the longest part of the circuit. Fisichella still cannot get that first corner right, but is getting away with it slightly. Towards Matinee. Round through the casino, and then heavy braking. It's a perfect place to try and do an overtake. It's this hairpin, if you can get the right line. You can't get the right line if you're doing that though, Bertie. So still Schumacher leads. Fisichella is in 2nd. Bertie is in 3rd. They go through the tunnel. A bunch of drivers going into the pits. Sounds like Schumacher and Fisichella. Webber also ready to dive into the pits. So 3 of the top 4 are pitting this lap as they go through the swimming pool section. So easy to get it wrong here. Proved it with Raikkonen. So easy to clip a wheel on the inside. Round the hairpin, and into the pits goes Schumacher, Fisichella, Webber, all in the pits this lap. Bertie moves into the lead for BAR. That's a lazy going past. There's a bit of a gap, and out goes Fisichella. Fisichella with quite a good pit stop. Michael Schumacher also same pit stop. Webber was the same as well. They've all come back out 5th, 6th, 7th. So well clear of Montoya. Mazzacane is in front in 4th. Button's 3rd. And I've got Bertie and Alesi in 1st and 2nd as we're on board with Mazzacane. Round the hairpin. They both go. It's a very tight hairpin. You have to have a special steering rack to actually get around that corner, otherwise the normal steering rack in these cars cannot get around that corner. As Bertie is getting ready to go into the pits. A lazy going around the Nouvelle chicane. It used to be a left-right chicane until they changed it. It's a very quick chicane. You have to have so much bravery. Down to the first gear round this tight hairpin. And then a little bit of a break into the pit lane.
Bertie, the race leader is entering the pits now.
And that all change at all 4 tyres. Montoya's lost the wheel. Montoya out of the race. Lazy's taking the lead. Montoya, the earlier race leader in pole position, man, out of the race. So he's retired in the last sector. Bertie's just gotten out in front of Michael Schumacher. That is a change for the lead. We're on board now with Montoya. What's going to happen is happened at the Nouvelle chicane. Young takes a wide line. Montoya cuts the chicane. Is he going to try and overtake at the back? Yes, he is. And that is not going to work. And he has retired. Montoya out. He clips the inside of the curb and retired at the outside. So, we're down to 16 runners here at the Monaco Grand Prix. Fisichella, Schumacher, Bertie, all fighting for position. All nose to tail. All still got to do one more pit stop. Round Mirabeau. Down towards Lowe's. And that's Webber's diving down the inside of Fisichella. Webber has just overtaken Fisichella at the lowest hairpin. Fisichella was not expecting that. And now Fisichella has all the work to do now to get back into that podium position. Webber with a very opportunistic pass. But we're still no closer to finding out who's going to win this illustrious Monaco Grand Prix. It is a illustrious title to hold. Not been here for 5 years. Last time we was not here for 5 years is between 1950 and 1955. We've been coming back ever since until season 1 where we didn't come. Now we're back. And we've already been treated to a little bit of a spectacle. Dramatic accidents involving Hill and Young. Schumacher and Takagi as well. As we're on board with Jean Lazy in the lead. We're on board now with De La Rosa, who's currently propping up the field in 16th place. We've got Raikkonen, Hakkinen and Barrichello all in front of him. Frenton might be there as well. Not too sure where Frenton is. I presume he's still at the front of this queue. Yes, he is. He's still leading this queue. Raikkonen's just hit the inside and outside wall going round the first corner. Can never remember what the first corner is called. Something like that. Just remembered it. Round Casino down towards Mirabeau. Barrichello's looking down the inside of Frentzen. And we're going towards Lowe's. Very tight corner. But proven twice that they can overtake there. And there's a huge gap of 13 seconds to Diniz in 11th. Coulthard is 9 seconds down the road in 10th. There he is. Young and Alonso. They're all fighting for the last point at the moment. Lazy leads, Button second, Matsukane third, Bertie fourth, Schumacher fifth, Webber sixth, Fisichella seventh. Round Matinee. We're now coming down towards Mirabeau on board with Webber. The next target is Michael Schumacher, with Bertie as well in front. I believe is the net race leader, not too sure yet because the Lazy still has to make a pit stop. But we shall soon see. We're on board with Bertie. He's got Matt Carney in front. Button's in front of him as well. Button's currently in second. The Lazy still leading. Still to make a pit stop. As the cars file their way through around the tight, twisty corners of this Monaco Grand Prix. There is a Lazy. He's going around the first corner. They're going around the last corner. Up the hill through Beaurivage. Through a Lazy. Round Massenet. Down towards the Casino Square. Over the bump towards Mirabeau. So tight corner, gear 1 corner, 60 kilometers an hour. And then the tightest corner of the F1 calendar. Never mind, we're on board with Button. Up under pressure from the two BARs. Matakane is looking towards the inside at lows. Nothing going to be done there. Kind of got the line a little bit wrong, but you can correct yourself very easily around these corners because they're really slow. No overtaking pretty much at Portier. And then round through the tunnel. The only tunnel in F1. Only eyes adjust towards the daylight. Matsukane got the line all wrong there. But both the BAR survive. Round to back. Through the swimming pool. Take the curbs. Around the second part of the swimming pool. Very tight. Looked like Bertie was going to get it all wrong there. Down towards the last but one corner. Through towards Anthony Nose. The founder of the track for the Monaco Grand Prix. Michael Schumacher 5th in the Ferrari down towards first corner. Bertie gets that corner all wrong, but he survives enough to not be overtaken by Michael Schumacher. Webber in 6th still. We believe that the rest, every car has one stop remaining for sure. Now we're on lap 15 out of 26. No one's going for the one stop on lap 13 drive. Everyone pitting. Every one stopper is pitted after lap 15. Looks like. Fisichella is in 7th in the Renault. 8th is Alonso. Alonso's still holding on to that final point ahead of Young and Coulthard. Through the tunnel towards Nivelle. There is Alonso. Got Young for company behind. Young, only car making any overtakes. Coulthard's a bit directly behind. They're all 7/10 away from each other. Into the daylight of Monaco. But Dennis still in 11th. Young shows his nose to a Lazy. And then we carry on. Diniz is in 11th. Barrichello is now in 12th. Barrichello's overtaken Frenson. There's Frenson 13th. Hakkinen 14th. Frenson. Oh, he hit the inside of that chicane. Rather embarrassing if you spin of that chicane. We're on board with Raikkonen and De La Rosa is in last place. Losing a lot of time is that Jaguar. There he is. All by himself. I wonder if we'll see any people going lapped. Because that'd be rather interesting to see. There is a Lazy. about 55 seconds in front of last place, so we might. There's still 10 laps to go. Still 10 laps to decide this Monaco Grand Prix. We're going to see quite a flurry of activity coming up. Button holding up quite a lot of cars here. The second through to 7th. We're on board with Gaston Mazzacane. Through the chicane. Down towards the double right-hander of Raskas. And then into the pits dives Mazzacane. He's had enough of Button. He's thinking, I'm going to bait this pit stop. That is probably not going to be a good idea. Renault also ready in the pits. Not if that would be for the next lap, I presume, for a lazy. Change of all 4 tyres. Alonso's only going to go past as well. Along with Young and Coulthard. And then there's a big gap between Coulthard and Diniz. Into the track goes Mazzacane. Round turn 1 of Sakdova. Mazzacane now on board with Coulthard. Now in 9th place, Young 8th, Alonso 7th. I think the top 7 is certainly going to be the top 7. Not sure who will be in 8th. Not sure even who's going to win this race. Lazy is looking very, very good. Bertie third, Buttons in 2nd. But both the Renault and the Jordan team getting ready to make a pit stop. Lazy's pulled out a 9-second lead over Button. McLaren ready in the pits as well. Alright, that is for Coulthard. Don't even know where Hackett is. However, a Lazy in the pit lane. Not going to be held up by either of them 2 cars. Here we go. The most important pit stop of the day. A Lazy leads. Buttons in the pits. Bertie retakes the lead. Schumacher 2nd. Fisichella 3rd. Webber 4th. So Mazzacane is also going to come into the pits. The Ferrari boys are ready as well. Out goes Lazy. Alonso is about to go past. Young goes past. There is Button out. And Mazzacane is 3 seconds back. So 1 lap you lose 3 seconds here. That is quite a lot. Button 8th. Mazzacane 9th, Diniz 10th, Coulthard 11th. Young having a little look at Alonso. On board with a Lazy. Lap 18 out of 26. VAR ready for Bertie. Ferrari are ready for Schumacher. Fisichella not going into the pits. That could be crucial. Webber also ready to go into the pits. He has actually been overtaken by Fisichella at some point along the track. Lazy is in a very, very, very good position here. We should soon see where all these cars feed out. It's going to be a very, very busy pit lane. So, here we go. In fact, all 4 drivers have gone into the pits. It's a very, very busy pit lane. Webber has the advantage of being the first car to go into his pit garage. Lazy goes past to retake the lead. Out goes Webber. Bertie's already come out. Fisichella's been held up. So has Schumacher. Fisichella's jumped Schumacher. Schumacher has been the biggest loser. He has lost position to all of these cars. Button has gone in between Fisichella and Bertie, so it's a Lazy in the lead. I believe it's Bertie in the net 2nd, Webber 3rd, Button 4th, Fisichella 5th, Schumacher 6th. I think they are the current positions. Alonso is in between the cars, not pitted yet. He's still got to make a pit stop. There is Alonso. Young as well, yet to make a pit stop. And that, I think, is your order at the moment. on lap 19 out of 26. Through the tunnel. Toyota ready for Alonso. Young not going in at the moment. He might do though. On board with Alex Young. So far for me, driver of the day, he's managed to pull off 2 overtakes. Even if one of them overtakes, he sort of took someone out. We won't dwell on that too much though. But Bernardi's actually been involved in incidents this race. Young taking out Hill. Surviving a dramatic flip as well as Alonso dives into the pits. Surviving a dramatic flip with Hill. And Takagi was involved in an accident with Ralf Schumacher. Both of them retired at the Nivelle chicane. As Alonso pits. Is he going to be behind Diniz? Yes. But he's going to be in front of Alonso. Starting lap 20. It's a 5-second lead. Diniz 9th. He has still yet to make a pit stop. Very few cars are now yet to make pit stops. Frentzen in 12th is one of them. Hakkinen is another one. The fuel tanks of these cars can last an awful long time. Raikkonen another one as well. I haven't pitted yet. De La Rosa has quite a lot to catch up, and Barrichello is currently the last car on track. As Frentzen lets Hakkinen have a little look down the inside. Someone was ready in the pits. I didn't quite catch who though. I presume it is Young in the Minardi. And Sauber also ready for Raikkonen. A lazy leads in the Renault. He's got a 3-second lead over Bertie at the moment. They are quite a ways away from their qualifying times. They're about 5-6 seconds away from their qualifying times. Currently doing 1:34s. Webber third in the Sauber, 4th button. Fisichella is in 5th for Renault as they go round Mirabeau down towards the Lowe's hairpin. Fisichella also doing well. He's in 5th place. So both Renaults doing very well. Got a lazy leading. We have Webber in 3rd. Webber obviously not in the Renault. Through the Nivelle chicane. Jaguar ready in the pits. So Diniz finally ready to go into the pits. Through the swimming pool chicane. There is Diniz. Currently holding on to 8th. That's soon going to change. As Young will dive into 8th place. It looks like Young is going to finish in front of Alonso at the moment. Pit strategy has done an awful lot of talking here, as Alonso has, not Alonso, Lazy has done well as we're on board with Diniz. Diniz is in the pits, away he goes. Coulthard, Frentzen both go past. Hakkinen also goes past. Hakkinen and Frentzen are the last 2 drivers to not make a pit stop this race. Same with De La Rosa. 14th is the Spaniard. None of these lot are going to be scoring, no, you'd have thought. Hakkinen 12th, going around Mirabeau. Then now going around Casino. Heavy braking. Frentzen directly behind Coulthard. Little touch of the wall there. Round Lowe's hairpin. Coulthard 10th place. Frentzen not 11th. Hakkinen 12th. Din is catching up a little bit. Frentzen looking down the inside of Portier. Nothing happening there, but we are going through the little tunnel down towards the Nouvelle chicane. Arrow's ready in the pits for Frentzen. Arrow's yet to make a pit stop because of Schumacher retiring. But all these lot are now pitting lap 20. They've lasted 22 laps on this fuel. Quite a long time to last with the fuel. Frentzen, Hakkinen, De La Rosa are all going to be pitting towards the Las Cas hairpin. Frentzen diving into the pits. Same with the McLaren. McLaren of Hakkinen is the first driver to go into the pits because of how far up they are in the pit lane. Frentzen and there's De La Rosa as well. No holding up there. Is Frentzen going to get out in front of Hakkinen? No! Hakkinen is in front of Frentzen, but away they go, and they are both in front of Raikkonen. Is Frentzen going to keep holding behind in front of Raikkonen? Yes, he is. Or is he? Oh, it's a little touch of the wall there. He's got away with it though. As Hakkinen comes out in front of Frentzen after seeing that rear wing of the Arrows all race. He's managed to finally pass him in the pits. As we're on lap 23, Alonso Young fighting for the final point. Young 8th in the Minardi. Michael Schumacher, how it could have been for Michael Schumacher, who has led a large portion of the race in front of after Montoya pitted and then since retired, and he's all of a sudden in 7th place. Partially through pit strategy, partially through being held up at the pits because of being... and hang on, that's Button. Button found himself pointing the wrong direction at the swimming pool. He'd been overtaken by Fisichella and Mazzacane. So Button's down in 6th now. I didn't even realise Button had made the error. Mazzacane 5th, Fisichella 4th, Webber 3rd. 2nd is... I'm not too sure. Bertie is in 2nd, but Lazy leads. Just Webber. Pressure for Fisichella. Looks like Bertie is putting pressure on a Lazy. Webber 3rd in the Sauber. There is Bertie and a Lazy. Half a second gap between the two of them as they go towards the Nouvelle chicane. Round and towards... Whoa, a little twitch of oversteer as he hits that curb. And then we're going towards Vasquez and Anthony Nodes to start the penultimate lap of the Monaco Grand Prix. Been a very interesting race. Been actually quite a bit of action, which is surprising for a Monaco Grand Prix. But we still don't know who's going to win this illustrious race between Alesi and Bertie. Round the first corner. Not the first corner. Round Massenet, round Casino. And round Mirabeau. Down towards the Lowe's hairpin. Alesi keeping Mazzacane and Bertie behind at the moment. Round Portier. Looking right, looking left. Hit a little touch of the barrier there. Looking at the cars are not that sensitive around this track. We made sure of that. Through Le Tunnel towards the Nouvelle chicane. Round to back. It's a very quick corner, as mentioned before. Swimming pool. We're not going to see any laps of traffic as I thought we might. Up through the gears, 2, 1, as they go round here and round the final chicane. We're going towards the final lap. A lazy leads at the moment. Bertie's in second. Round the first corner. Up the hill through up Beaurivage for the final time. Round Mirabeau towards the casino. Bertie had a little look there. In fact, it's very, very close to a lazy. Is he going to try round Mirabeau? He had a little look there. We're going to see some action at the final lap here. Lazy having to defend his position at lows. Bertie not trying. Round Portier, not really much of an overtaken opportunity here. He's got to go for a good exit here, Bertie. Through the tunnel. Now, is Bertie going to take his opportunity to the Nouvelle chicane? Great over the head shots here. Bertie's not close enough to a lazy. If he gets a good exit, he might be able to try it to back. Not really. Large exit there through the swimming pool chicane. Bertie having a little look. He's struggling to get that BAR stopped. Round that corner and then towards the final two corners. Through towards Anthony Nose round the final corner, and it's going to be Jean Alesi, the Frenchman, coming around the final corner to win the Monaco Grand Prix in a French car. Bertie finishes in second, Webber third, and Fisichella finishes in fourth place. Mazzacane finishes in fifth. Michael Schumacher finishes in sixth. So something happened to Button there. Seventh place still has not crossed the line. So where is Button? Young finishing seventh, but Alonso eighth. Button ninth. Something big happened to Button for him to finish in ninth. He's finished outside the points of it in the end. Coulthard 10th. Dinnis 11th. Maybe we'll see a replay at the end, see what happened to Button, because he was running around in 5th, 6th place. Dinnis 11th, Hakkinen 12th, Frentzen 13th, Raikkonen 14th. And then the final two cars are Barrichello and De La Rosa. But we're on board with your race winner. Towards Parc Fermé. Now your race winner for the first Monaco Grand Prix is Luciano Berti. Not Luciano Berti, it's John Alesi. Ah, no! How have I done that? I should quit as a commentator for doing that. That was a rather embarrassing mistake. I cannot believe I said that. The winner is Alesi. Berti was second. The winner was Alesi. Don't worry, I'm not taking the win away from Alesi. Alesi won fair and square. Alesi, your race winner. Berti second, Webber third. This is why I should not commentate. Fisichella fourth, Mazzacane fifth, Schumacher sixth. All close together, 11 seconds. Young and the rest of them. Barrichello 15th, De La Rosa 16th. Actually quite close in the end. Your retirements, Montoya, Takagi, Schumacher, and rather dramatically Damon Hill. As we look through the field, there is Berti second. I'm not even sure who took fastest lap in the end. Fisichella in fourth. Mazzacane fifth, sixth. There's a Young. And Coulthard 10th. And we are finishing off here with Kimi Raikkonen, who finished in the rear. No, we didn't. Barrichello and De La Rosa. Not good stuff for the Jaguar team or the Arrows team. Neither of them scoring points. Two Constructors winners. In fact, Jordan, who were the Constructors winners in season 3, none of the Constructor champions scored this race. Just shows how odd Monaco was, but and that was all of it. It was Mark Webber in the end that got the fastest lap, 1:32.9. Mark Webber, the fastest lap. We go back on board with Button. This is what happened. He's coming towards Webber. So that's the first incident. That's how Fisichella Mazzacane got through. That was the first incident. And there's the second incident. Is coming towards Portier. Pressure from Michael Schumacher. This is Portier, and he span. That's what happened. Egged into more of a spin there, and I presume he'll struggle to get. Oh, that's rather embarrassing. That's yeah, hit rear. Oh, yeah, that's nope. You're reversing a bit too much there, Button. There we go. So that's what happened to Button. Thank you very much for watching the Monaco Grand Prix. I hope you had a good time, and goodbye.